What's up, everyone? We're at the 125th New York Auto Show. We're making this extra special as it's our last episode of the Professionals in the Workforce series. Today we're going to interview Tyll, the Director of Dodge Product, and we're going to get an interview over Zoom with McAlear, the CEO of Dodge. And we're also going to get to drive this car on the EV track and test it out. Let's go!
This is the world's first electric muscle car. So what you're in today is a 670 horsepower Dodge Charger Daytona. How does this compare? It's faster than the old cars. It's all electric.
How does Dodge approach the EV market without losing its soul?
It has to look like a Dodge, has to drive like a Dodge, has to feel like a Dodge, has to sound like a Dodge. And we said if we could hit those four pillars, we think we could deliver an exciting product to the market that would be authentic to what we believe is true.
We didn't set out to design an EV first. We set out to design a muscle car first. And then we said, okay, from a look standpoint, we went after the most iconic muscle car in history, the 68 Charger. And I think a lot of people would agree the car is absolutely gorgeous.
The Dodge Charger Daytona Banshee SRT was absolutely the most exciting car concept I've worked on. It really is because we brought this vehicle to market.
We have to outperform all the powertrains we're replacing. And what technologies allow us to do that? So, the EV technology, as you experienced, allows for extremely fast acceleration. One thing we can agree on is performances for everyone that buys our cars, and we think we hit it out of the park with looks like a Dodge, drives like a Dodge, sounds like a Dodge, and feels like a Dodge.
Kind of change ambient lighting to just about anything.
That's amazing.
Once you get behind the wheel, you spend a little bit of time with an EV, you realize just how wonderful they are. They're different, completely different, everything we're used to for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years of our driving careers, but they are fun. You just have to get behind the wheel for a while.
EVs are so quiet, but let me tell you, this is the only one I've driven. It almost feels like a gas-powered vehicle because of that rumble. Yeah.
But battery technology, charging infrastructure is all going to evolve over time. So we're still in the infancy of this technology, and we'll see where it goes. But these cars and this technology, even today, can be so good for so many people.
Just being in the interior of this cabin, there's a few things that we fought for pretty hard. I mean, this pistol grip shifter, again, this was a choice. This is something we, from the engineering side, they're like, you don't need that. We can just do a dial, we can do this, we can do that. But for us, again, to feel like a Dodge. How do I make this car feel like a Dodge? And that's a really important attribute, to feel like a Dodge. The center screen always being a little bit cantilevered towards the driver. That's a decision you make. That's, the driver is the most important person in this vehicle.
I like that. So then I can focus on
it.
Yeah,
it's for you.
If you could describe Dodge's future in 3 words, what would they be?
It's going to be another exciting 100 years. We are all about being unique, being creative, having fun, be polarizing, maybe making a few people uncomfortable, hopefully not too upset. But at the end of the day, if we're not making somebody uncomfortable and upset, we're probably not doing what's right for Dodge.
Just to display the sound right now, that's what it sounds like. So how did you do that, when there's no gas engine, to make it sound like that?
So this again goes back in time when we first started talking this car. We actually went to one of our internal museums and we brought a lot of our old cars out, we turned them on, we recorded the sound profiles to really kind of respect the heritage of what an ICE engine sounds like. That's cool. And then we went into the sound booth with those recordings, but we didn't want to copy a video or historical sound. We wanted something new that was future looking, but also had a cadence that you would recognize. So right now what you're hearing is that little bit of kind of rumble, you can recognize that from an ICE engine. But once you start driving, you get into more immersive sound that's unique to this vehicle.
We built some incredible brand value and loyal following with our old Chargers and Challengers. The vehicles that we're bringing out now are far superior. You get in this car and you don't know what's under the hood. You think you're in a traditional muscle car, and that was the goal, because the The inside of the EV is nearly identical to the ICE powertrains that are coming. We also are getting ready to launch some twin turbo inline 6 power plants that are phenomenal and surpass many of the V8s. Don't get lost in trying to keep everybody happy. It's easy to do, especially me. It's innate that you don't want anybody to say you're wrong or you're not going down the right path. But at the end of the day, I truly believe if you're not making some people unhappy and uncomfortable, you're not building a brand that stands for something.